Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan. This is actually Hollywood Hogan.
Oh, okay. Is he still wrestling?
No, he stopped wrestling. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, did you do some amateur wrestling yourself or no?
I did. Yeah, I did it for like a few years and then stopped and I was always like a huge wrestling fan.
Nice. What was your record?
Uh
Okay, we're gonna go there. I'll
Yeah.
let you ask the questions.
Okay. Well, um, welcome to Grue, and thank you again so much for coming on the show. Thank you for your patience. I know I tried doing this before and it didn't work out, so I appreciate you patient and doing it. So thank you.
No worries, no worries. Thanks for having me on.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. So, first I want to start asking you is, of course, typical question is like, when did your passion start for acting? Like, what drew you to it?
Well, it's funny. It was never on my radar. It
Really?
wasn't. I got into I was playing sports in high school and stuff, and then I came out to California. My dad was a Marine, so we got stationed out in San Diego, and I came out here at 17, and I was playing college football in my first year of college, and I was starting to race motocross at the same time, and I loved that. And then I met this girl who told me that I should get into modeling. And I thought, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm enjoying my motocross and all my other stuff. And she says, well, you can make some money from it if you give it a shot. So I said, oh, what the heck. So long story short, she introduced me to an agent, signed with an agent, and start working immediately. And
Oh my God.
and then right after that, I started seeing my peers and my agents are telling me, you know what, Johnny, take acting classes. That'd be the next progression. I'm thinking, acting? Okay, all right. So that's how I got started.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So
I never thought about it
like
before.
it's something you never even thought of. It just was like brought to you.
Exactly. Exactly. And I thought that I was supposed to, I went to college, got my degree in psychology. So I
Oh,
figured,
really?
yeah. So I figured, once I get my degree, I just go ahead and, I start working as a psychologist, and then,
Yeah.
um, it didn't dawn on me to go into acting or even modeling or any of that stuff. But I'm glad I did because it's like a natural fit for me.
Wow. Okay. I have to say I love the palm trees, like the background. It
Oh,
definitely it definitely has like a nice little island Florida vibe.
yes. That's my wife's decorating. I mean, we're here in San Diego and we've got, there's palms all over my yard and the backyard and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just real relaxing. It's chill. I like that.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where are you doing the big Comic Con this weekend?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I did it when it first started coming to town way back a few
Okay.
years ago or whatever, and because my daughter was really into it, and I had
Yeah.
some friends that were, signing autographs there and stuff. So I did it then, and it's become like this
Oh
really
my God,
crazy
it's
thing now too.
huge.
Oh yeah, it's big time. Actually, I was supposed to go down tonight. No, not tonight, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'm supposed to go down. The president of SAG local, buddy of mine, Larry Poole, asked me to come down and we're going to do like a group picture at the Comic Con. And so I don't know
Nice.
if I'm going to do it, and I don't know if I want to deal with that traffic, man. To be honest, it's crazy. I mean, people are like flying in from all over the world,
I
and cars
know.
are coming. Oh, they're
I
everywhere.
know.
It's
Like
a,
they
it's
they
crazy.
fly in like even outside of the USA. Like this
Yeah.
this literally is the biggest Comic Con of the year.
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this downtown San Diego, the gas lamp area is just like a mob. I mean,
Oh
there are
yeah, I'm
people
sure.
everywhere. And it's like that for like what the next week, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
it started on Wednesday and I think it ends on Sunday. So
yeah.
Wednesday to Sunday, and you probably can't get anywhere near that area.
Oh, no, no. We used to go down a few years back. We'd go down just for the heck of it, and we'd
Yeah,
go and see how crazy people are dressing up and everything. You know, we'd go down there and people would be in costumes to the max. I mean, things would just like they'd be right on point. It's crazy, man. I mean, it's a show outside of the convention.
I know, I know. Like just seeing the people dressed up, like it's amazing because they put so much effort and time into their costumes to mimic and look exactly like the superheroes, and it's insane. Like it's a lot of work.
Have you ever thought about flying out for it?
I really want to. I wanted to this year, but then funds got tight. And but next year, I'm definitely saving up. Like I have to do one. Like I'm definitely gonna save up and try for next year.
Yes. Well, if you do, you have to let me know and come over and hang out with me for a while. Because
Yeah.
this is my home base, and I go to
Okay.
LA for all my work mainly, but this is my home base here. It's just when I'm in LA, I'm working, and it's just like there's so much stuff going on up there.
Yeah.
I leave there and I come to a little quiet San Diego, and I can
Nice.
relax, go surfing, just take it easy.
Nice. Nice. Well, yeah, it's quiet until you get mobbed with fans for a Comic Con. And so like when you started to act, what was the first role you ever landed?
Oh man, I worked I worked in this little thing. This movie was really crappy, man. I'm ashamed to admit it, but we got to start somewhere.
Right?
I worked on this thing called LA Crackdown, and yeah, it was bad. And
Sounds interesting.
it was somewhere to get my feet wet.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then I did another one that was at the time I felt like it was pretty bad too. And it was my first leading role, and it was in a movie called Hell on the Battleground. And
Okay.
and we did that. And I thought, okay, this little movie it was big in overseas, and it was gonna be big in the video market,
Yeah.
action adventure. I'm shooting rocket launchers and machine guns, and I'm killing people and stuff. And I think that's fun. So turns out that thing is like on Amazon Prime, it's on Tubi, it's everywhere. And I'm just going, what the heck? I thought it would go no place. Jeez, I've got a new legion of fans because of that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it started with that stuff. And then I ended up doing Forgotten Heroes, which is another war film. And that got a really good release, and that did well. And then from there, I started doing, I was modeling at the time,
Yeah.
doing both. And I worked for GQ magazine. I did JC Penney's catalogs. I was recruited by the Chippendales. I did talk shows. I was just really busy, like in the 80s,
Wow.
and up until the mid 90s. And that's when I did Tales from the Crypt, and then I did
Yes.
Law, yeah, and Renegade with Lorenzo Lamas, and there's a lot of stuff that was going on during that time period. But that's when I actually started acting. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Do you remember? Okay, do you remember a series of commercials back in the late '80s for Michelob beer? They were called "The Night Belongs to Michelob."
Yes, yes, yes.
I was a principal in two of those commercials.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, and that was fun because that was one of those things where I saw the first one come on, like it was like that whole MTV vibe. It's
Yeah.
me drink some water 1 second.
Okay.
There's that MTV vibe where Miami Vice kind of like music video thing was going on real
Uh-huh.
heavy at that time. And so the director for that, he had that whole thing going on with the commercials. So that's why they had like the music of Phil Collins and Eric Clapton and all that stuff. And it's like a little movie in itself, each
Oh
commercial.
my God. Yeah.
But it was fun. I love doing those.
Now, now, do you drink the beer?
Be honest, I don't drink at all
Oh,
or
okay.
alcohol.
Okay.
But at that time, I did try the Michelob. Okay, I tried Michelob. Heineken was my beer of choice at that
Oh,
time.
nice.
I had a
Yeah.
beer, but yeah, I didn't drink too much. But yeah, I did try the Michelob. I just love the whole feel of the commercials. The way they shot
Yes,
it and
exactly.
everything. The style is what it was.
Nice. Nice. And Tales from the Crypt, like how did you wind up booking the role for the show?
I signed with this new agency. I switched agents, and I got this agent, and he sent me out to read for Karen Ray. Karen Ray, she was a casting director up there, and she took my stuff. And 2 days later, I hear from her. I said I booked a role. She sent my work over to Walter Hill, and
Okay.
Walter Hill said, "Yeah, yeah, I want Johnny on this." So I thought, okay, and I didn't even know what Tales from the Crypt was. All right, now this was the very first episode. And so I go up and I go for a call back and I meet the director and then they say, okay, you got the role. And then I go up to shoot. And on the day of shooting, we shot at this courthouse in downtown LA.
Uh-huh.
um, I met Walter Hill for the first time there. He had seen me on the videotape, my audition, but I'd never seen him before. So I
Oh,
was a
okay.
fan of his, you know. And so I met him and we got along great. We're in between scenes, we're like talking about college football because we both played defensive back and all that stuff. It was great. And then he'd just tell me, he was like an actor's director. He would just say, Johnny, this is what I need from you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you got it. And at lunchtime, I sit down and I sit with, and you've had him on before on your show,
Mm-hmm.
William, William,
William,
William Sadler.
yes,
Had
yes.
him on, right? Okay, so me and Bill sat down and had lunch together because he was in that episode with me. He was the
Oh, that's right.
executioner.
Yes, yes. Okay, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. But anyway, so we went ahead and we shot everything, and then so I tell my family and friends about it, and after it's done, say, yeah, Tales from the Crypt on HBO. I'm going to be blah blah blah. This detective, me and my partner arrest Bill. We arrest Bill Sadler and bring him into jail, and we're like interviewing, not interviewing him, but interrogating him, right?
Well, yeah.
And so what happens is I'm looking forward to that, and then I get this letter in the mail, okay, from Walter. Dear Johnny, I love working with you. The show is running a little bit long, so we had to edit some of the scenes.
Oh no.
Yours was one of the scenes. And I'm just going, no. I was dying, man.
No.
I'm just going, no. I told my family and friends, and they're waiting to watch it. But it happens. It happens to what's his name? Kevin Costner has his story of that. I know so many actors who have their stories of
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happened to them.
true.
And so I kept the letter, and I thought, well, he said, we'll work again, So I just thought, oh man. So that was depressing, to get that.
Oh, I'm
And,
sure. Yeah.
it was one of those, they had to cut 3 scenes, and our scene, me and my partner scene, was one of the scenes that they cut out.
Ah.
And so what ended up happening is that what's I gonna tell you? I'm thinking about that right now. I'm getting bummed.
Yeah.
It's bringing back memories. But anyway, so I still get my residuals, and I'm still listed in the cast
All right.
because I worked it and everything. And I think maybe they kept the scene in on some of the things they shot sent overseas. I don't know, but it is what it is. You know, I got to shoot it. I worked it. I got booked it, so it was fun. It was fun. But I knew you were going to ask me about that, and I thought, man, it's going to be hard to tell them about that one there. But
Oh
yeah,
no,
that's
that
what happened with
sucks.
Tales.
Oh no. Okay. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, you were talking about the thing that happened with you, the interview you were going to do with the bear
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
You know, it's that same kind of feeling. You know, it's
It
like
is.
the last
Yeah,
second is like,
I
what?
was I was pretty upset with that. Yes. I was told that I was going to be part of the press day and interview Jeremy Allen White from the Bear.
Yeah.
Then press day happens and I get an email saying that I was cut because of time.
Yes.
So of course they had to give it to all the big places, like all the big interviews, all the big shows, like they got the first dibs, and shows like mine got
That's too bad, man. I'm sorry what happened.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what happened there. And from that point, I didn't really. Well, I had one offer to do another horror film at the
Oh
very
really?
same time, and I kind of backed out of it because the guy was. I was the lead, but the guy was just an awful, awful, evil
Oh
character. And I just thought, you know what? That's not the kind of things I want to do a lot of at that time,
yeah.
you know. And so I said,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to pass on it. So I passed on the role. And, but then I started doing a lot of like kind of action adventure stuff and a lot of rom-coms and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I do have one coming up where I'm going to be doing a vampire.
Oh, which one's that?
It's called Museum of the Dead.
Ooh.
And it's a dark comedy. And I talked to the director a couple of days ago and I said, do you want me to mention this, you know, on Grue's show? And he says, yeah, but don't give away the subplots. So I can't go into much detail,
Well,
but
yeah, of
but
course.
it's very different than most vampire movies.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. There's quite a little twist going on in this thing. And I'm in it with Lynn Lowry and Bill Orts, and they're talking to Malcolm McDowell to come aboard
Oh
also.
wow, nice.
So right now that's in the funding. They're getting the funding together, and hopefully we'll shoot that sometime this fall.
Uh, I really hope it happens. Like I'm curious to see what the movie's about now. And like I mentioned I was a wrestling fan too, and I saw you were in a movie with a wrestler, Charles Wright, who was a former WWE star, Killer Waves 2.
Oh, yes, Killer Ways. Yeah, that was James Balsamo. Are you
Yes,
familiar with James?
yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
James and I met at a party up in LA, an event at LA back in 2017, 18 or somewhere around there. And we kind of hit it off. And he calls me up and he goes, this is during COVID. He calls me up during COVID and says, Johnny, I want you to be in this movie for me. You know, he wanted
Okay.
to do this fun film. And I said, no, the character. I didn't like the character. I said, no, I'm going to that one. You know? He goes, I want you in one of my movies, man. I'm going to stay on your case until you agree. So he calls me up again, maybe 2 months later. And he goes, will you take this role? I go, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. so, so I play this championship surfing champion. All right.
Yeah.
And it's a movie in Killer Ways, okay, the sequel, and the one your buddy Charles is in,
Yeah.
and so what he did, so since it was during COVID, he told me, he goes, you know, we're not going to have a lot of people on set together because of COVID, so you can
Oh.
shoot it, why don't you shoot it from home and send it to me because it was a cameo, all right?
Oh, okay, okay.
So I did this cameo for him. And I went back, I have a pool in the back with these palm trees and went up back and I set up the camera and I got it set with the trees and the pool behind me. And I go and I do this kind of like what's the name of that movie? Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Sean Penn's character on there. I do that kind of
Uh-huh.
dude, you know. And I do this whole surfing spell and everything, you know, and then I send it to him and he goes, yes, that's what I want. So that's coming out, I think, in October.
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah, because he's getting ready to do a Killer Ways 3.
Oh
So,
my God.
you know, yeah, so that's coming out in October. And I told him, I said, you know, I may or may not mention your, you know, your movie when I do my interview. And I wasn't going to mention it, but since you brought it up, there it is. He's going to be ecstatic. He's going to be
Well,
crazy, right? He was going,
I actually interviewed him once, like a while ago. I forgot what movie it was for, but it was for one of his movies.
yes, he cranks them out, man.
He makes a lot of them, yeah.
He does. But yeah, so he'll be excited to hear that I talked about his movie on here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you've been doing this for a while. Like, is there any role like you had the most fun doing?
Oh, well, I really enjoyed working on the two war movies that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forgotten Heroes and Hell on the Battleground. Had a blast on those. I made some lifelong friends from those movies. One of my friends that I made from this movie, one of them, a guy named Joel Weiss, and Joel was one of the main characters. And remember the film The Warriors?
Yes, of course.
He was one of the main characters in The Warriors.
Nice.
And so
Nice.
him and I became buddies. We talked like 2 weeks ago. And then I've got like maybe about 5 friends from those movies that we've been talking at least once a month since then. You know,
All right.
we stay in touch and we get together, you know, our families and do things. And yeah. So those two movies, I say Romancing Sarah, which is also on there. Um,
Yes.
that was fun. That one was fun. Actually, that movie, I didn't know it at the time. Well, I did know it at the time, but it was for Playboy.
Oh.
I got a call, and buddy of mine was starring in it, and he was also in Forgotten Heroes with me, and he goes, Johnny, he goes, why don't you do this movie with me, man? And I go, what is it? It's called Romancing Sarah. He goes, yeah, why don't you come up and read for us? I said, okay. So I go up and read. I didn't know it was a Playboy movie at the time. So I go up and read for this movie. I read for the movie and I get a call next day and say, you booked it. And I go, so he goes, now Johnny, it's a Playboy movie. And I go, it is. I go, what? He goes, yeah. And he goes, your casting, your reading went straight to Hugh Hefner.
Oh my God.
And he wants you in this movie. And I go, what? So I book it. So Bobby and I are the two male leads in the movie. And I didn't do anything weird in this movie, just so you know. And so basically it's like him and I are like these dudes who have all these girlfriends and stuff. And I've got like 2 playmates who are my girlfriends, and he's got a couple that are his, you know, and that kind of thing. It's about our relationships. It's kind of like a rom-com. It's a comedy, you know, romantic
Nice.
comedy.
Nice.
And so anyway, what I did in the movie is nothing that I would be ashamed of, or I even want my daughter to see or anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
And so anyway, so we shot that, you know, and that was a blast. Him and I had a blast because we were friends anyway, and you know, and it was fun to go over to a Playboy, you know, studio and talk to those guys and Hefner's right-hand man and all that stuff. That was a blast. It was like one of those things where, you know, you're a teenager. All right. So yeah, you see Playboy and you're thinking, man, this guy has it made. and then
Yeah, right.
and then you're going, he wants me to be in this movie, you know, like 15 years later. So that was a kick. That was fun. And another job that I had a blast on was the Michelob commercials.
Yes,
Because
yes.
the guy I worked with there, his name was Joe Pitka. He was the director. and he's directed films as well. And he's won Clio's, which Clio's is like the same as an Oscar, but for commercials. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he's won several Clio's. And it was funny because we were sitting, story about this. So we're on the set in Culver Studios and we're shooting, and there's he has a portable basketball, net set up outside. So in between
Okay.
takes, we'd go outside and shoot hoops. All right. So we come back in the studio, I'm working, and then we had this one break, and on this one break, I went to call my wife. So I walked around and I walked to this studio, this sound stage right next door to our sound stage. And I get over there and I went and used because this is in the late 80s, all right? No, this is actually yeah, late 80s, 88, 89. So they still had payphones there, right? It wasn't a cell, it was a payphone outside of the stage, sound stage. So there's a guy with a
Okay.
payphone, all right? I look at this guy, he looks familiar, and it was Jeffrey Jones. And so red hair and everything. So I go, okay, I'll wait for him to finish and I'll make my call. So he was on another sound stage. So I go and I make the call. I get off the phone and I look at this sound stage that he had just walked into and walked out of. So I walk into it, just curious. It was open. And there's on this table, this huge table, was his town. All right. There's this town with roads and little cars and little houses and a little cemetery, And you know what this movie was?
No.
Beetlejuice.
Oh my God, get out.
It was a sound stage for Beetlejuice. And this was their setup. This was that whole big table with the town and all that stuff where he pops up
Yeah,
out of the
yeah, yeah,
green.
yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know it at the time. I just thought, oh, that looks really cool. So I go home, maybe a couple of years later, there's Beetlejuice. I'm going, hey, I remember seeing that.
Oh my God, that's what, and now they're making a second one.
Oh, yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fun because in that same commercial, one of the guys was a disc jockey that worked at a LA radio station. And she shot for 3 days. And on the last day of shooting, we're shooting downtown in LA. And he goes, Johnny, we kind of became friends. He goes, you want to come to a party tonight after we wrap? I go, I don't know. Where's the party? He goes, well, it's not too far from here. And I go, what is it? He goes, it's Stevie Wonder's 40th birthday party.
No.
Yes. And I'm going, are you kidding me? The radio station he DJ'd at was owned by Stevie Wonder. And so he was part of the whole deal. And so he said,
Oh
why don't
my
you come, man? Come to
God.
the party. So I go to Stevie Wonder's 40th birthday party and got to meet Stevie and Ray Charles and
Oh my God,
Eddie
that's so
Murphy.
awesome.
Everybody was there. It was like a nice little blessing I didn't know I was going to get.
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
you asked about fun times that I had. Those are some of the fun times. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. Hey, and who could beat the Hugh Hefner in The Mansion, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, and the other funny thing, as far as that type of thing is concerned, I got recruited by Chippendales.
Nice.
And I didn't even know who they were when they recruited me. I was in LA. I was modeling for Puma Sportswear, okay,
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
at an LA convention center. And
Yeah.
I was with this dance troupe and I was doing a dance, and modeling their clothes. And there was a big crowd there. And I came off the stage and I went backstage and when it was over to change. And these two guys come backstage and they're like, hey, Johnny, can we talk to you for a second? Yeah, sure, sure. Hey, listen, we'd like to see if you'd be interested in joining our review we have. They're male dancers, and I'm going, male dancers? Yeah. And I go, well, what's the name? And they gave me a card. They go, oh, we're Chippendales. They give me this card. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know what Chippendales was. All right. So I take the card and they go, call us, call us. This is a Saturday. So call us first thing Monday and let us know, if you're interested. So I go my wife, we just got married, maybe
Oh
about a
my.
year before that. And I go and she's in the audience and I go, hey, going back home, I go, you ever heard of these guys? She goes, no, no. So she calls up her girlfriend while we're driving in the car. Her girlfriend goes, yeah, yeah, they have calendars out and all this stuff. And they go, oh, we got to see what this is all about. So I go and I go to this store when we get back home and I see this calendar. And all these guys are like in Speedos and stuff. And I'm going,
Oh
no,
yeah, yeah.
no, that's not happening. Not happening. So, so I just called him on Monday and I said, hey man, I'm flattered that you guys want me to come aboard. I said, but I can't do it. What do you mean there are guys dying to do this? No, no, I gotta
Yeah, yeah. No, they're
come.
literally were too. Like they're like if guys are like literally like trying hard to get into that.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, it was an experience.
Oh, that's great.
I'm boring you with all my stories here.
Oh no, this is great. I love it. That's what I love about doing these things, the interviews. I love hearing like stories about like what happened on sets and outside of the set and all that stuff. Like this is fun. I love it. So when you aren't acting and auditioning, what do you like doing during your free time?
Well, when I was in the motocross, I used to love to go out and ride. I used to go to the desert and just have fun. I remember there were times where, and I'm not doing that right now, but I remember one time we went out in the morning, early in the morning, and we raced out in the desert. And then we came back up to this place called Julian, Borrego Desert to Julian, which is a mountain area. And
Okay.
we had lunch, and then we got back to San Diego and went surfing that evening before it got dark. So we did all those things in one day. I mean, it's
That's a
like,
lot of stuff.
where else can you do that except
I
California?
know.
You know? But no, I like surfing. I like surfing, I like body surfing. I like just chilling out, hanging out with I've got a husky, my dog, taking her
Oh,
for
nice.
walks, and my wife and I, she likes to go to like farmers markets, and we do that.
Yes.
Go to the beach. I don't know, go out to dinner. I just relax and not really do anything exciting, just kind of take it
Mhm.
easy. We did take we went out to the Bahamas last month
Ooh,
and
nice.
we went out there and went to an island called Eleuthera. And it's
Oh,
about 100, it's like 110 miles long
oh,
and
wow.
about 10 miles wide at the widest point. So it's not really a big island. And we went there and went snorkeling. And that's the other thing I like to do is snorkel. But we went
Oh, okay.
snorkeling and kayaking. So we went snorkeling and had a blast there. I came face to face with a couple of barracuda. And
Oh my God.
but they seemed to gravitate towards me because about 10 years earlier, we used to love to go to the Virgin Islands. And in the Virgin Islands, I come across some barracuda there. And the first one I came across, I was snorkeling, I hopped in the water and I was adjusting my mask, and this thing was coming right at me. He was like about maybe 4 or 5 feet away, and he was about 4 feet.
No.
And he was just coming right at me. And he kind of comes at me like this and he goes, and that eye was like looking at me the whole time. And I'm like just watching him go by, just standing completely still.
Oh my God.
But he didn't bother me. And the others I saw recently in the Bahamas, they didn't bother me either. You
Oh, all
know,
right, good.
if you don't bother them, if you don't have like anything shiny on, like a ring, which I make sure I take off before I go snorkeling. If you have anything, if I don't take it off, I'm like just trying to cover it up. But yeah, they don't really bother you, but they do. They're kind of eerie and they check you out. So you're not really sure what's going to happen or not
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. Wow, I mean that's s- exciting but also scary at the same time.
But you know what? You only live once, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Exactly. And and what about songs? Like, what kind of music is on your playlist?
Oh man. Well, I played drums when I was in high school. I played in a couple of rock bands, like local bands, kind of like a
Nice,
Hodge band,
nice.
dude. And So we played a lot of rock, like Led Zeppelin, the Stones, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Chicago, stuff like that. And so I like rock, and I also I like R&B, and because now see, I love to play rock. I love the drums, love to play rock, but I can't dance to rock. But I can
Yeah,
dance
yeah, exactly.
R&B. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, so those are the two main things I like. And I like jazz if I want to just chill out and relax. But those
Okay.
are the two main ones. Yeah. Like the old Motown, and
Yeah,
stuff like
definitely.
that. How about yourself?
Me, I'm like a big rock and roll metalhead,
Cool.
but I also like pop too and dance music. So like a little bit of everything. But if I had to pick like one, I would pick like the rock and metal over like dance and pop.
Cool. Yeah, I used to go to a lot of concerts in my late teens and early 20s. Um, and I was into a lot. I would see like Zeppelin. I go anywhere from my range from Zeppelin to Michael Jackson, you
Oh
know,
wow, okay.
and then I go and see Paul McCartney and Wings, So I was just like all over the place, Hall and Oates, I just so
Hall
I
notes,
have a
yeah.
really varied, my musical taste star.
Nice.
Probably the only thing that's not on my music taste is country.
Yeah.
The only thing that's not on there.
Okay.
Nothing against it. Just
Yeah, it's not for everyone. It really isn't.
yeah.
A- And if you were gonna sing a karaoke song, what do you think you would do?
Oh man, I cannot sing at all. I cannot hold a note. And when I was playing in the band, I would play drums and I'd be background. That would be it. Harmony. Um, what would I try to sing? That's a good question. Um, there's some songs in the back of my head not coming to me right now. Um, I like a couple of songs by Yes. Um, Emerson Lake and Palmer. There's a couple of songs there that I like to
Oh,
sing.
nice,
Kind of
nice.
like singing in the shower type
Yeah,
singing.
yeah, yeah.
Um, what's another one that's the one that I really like? Oh, and I also like I wouldn't really call it rap, but like Cameo, I like some Bon Jovi, you know,
Nice,
like
nice.
that, So yeah, my taste, those songs I would like that I sing to myself sometimes, Bon
Well,
Jovi,
yeah, exactly.
are Panama, by what's his face, who is that?
Oh, Van
Yeah, Van
Halen, right?
Halen. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, there was, oh, I know I was going to tell you, not to get off the song thing, but I couldn't
Yeah.
help but see this Chucky thing behind you here, the poster.
Yeah.
Okay, so I read for Child's Play 1. I
Really?
took it, but I read for it. And it was funny because I remember being at Universal and going in to
Uh-huh.
read for it. And I was reading for the part of a cop, the cop that pulls over, I guess in the first one, the cop pulls some, I guess, I don't know who's in the car. I think Chucky's in the car with somebody. I don't know what, But anyway, I didn't book it. But I remember walking out of the reading and seeing the tour bus coming by on Universal's lot.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where I'm watching the tour bus go by and it flashed back on me like about 5 years prior to that. I was on that tour bus.
Really?
I was on that tour bus taking a tour of Universal, and I was looking out the window thinking, man, it'd be great to actually be working on this lot someday, And here I was on the lot as an
Reading,
actor now and
yes.
watching a tour bus go by me.
That's crazy. Wow. You actually willed it.
It's really crazy, man. Some of the things that I never imagined I'd do,
Yeah.
you know, I never even thought about. I mean, there's Rocco, I've got so many stories, but I'm not going to say a bunch of stories, man. But there's so many experiences I've had from being in acting and modeling that, I could write a book about it. It's just,
Hey, you should write a book about it.
But it's been really a blessed life for me, and I have no regrets about taking this route. You know, it's just
Yeah.
been fun. It's just been enjoyable, and I always tell people, when they're trying to decide what to do with their lives,
Yeah.
make sure whatever job you settle on, make sure it's something that you are excited about getting up in the morning and going to work. Something that you really enjoy, man. I mean, something that just brings you alive. And that's what acting does for me, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
And my daughter, when she was growing up, she's like, I want to give her all the support I could give her. And she was at a young age, she had some artistic, talent where she could draw really
Oh
well.
wow. Okay.
So I would bring her home books. I'd go up to Samuel French's in LA and I'd buy these art books to teach her how to like
Nice.
muscles and animation and
Nice.
all that. So she would draw these things. I watch her. I watched her progress over the years. Now, then she decides, you know what? I'm going to go to college and major in art. So she
Oh
did,
wow.
and she graduated, okay, from Laguna Beach College of Art and Design. And now she's working for this company that she started working for a company called Jinx at first. And she was doing all the artwork for the clothing for Minecraft. Are you familiar with Minecraft?
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
So she was doing all the artwork you see on Minecraft that you buy at the store, the t-shirts and hoodies and all that. She did a lot of that artwork. And then she went from there and she's working for another company now. And this really big hub. I can't remember for the life of me the name of the main company right now. It has something to do with Sony. But
Oh
she,
wow.
but she's one of the executives, she's one of the leaders in her position. And you ever heard of Rocket League?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Rocket League is like this game with these cars and they play soccer. The cars play soccer.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
really
Okay.
big game and like you've heard of Redemption, Red Dead
Yes.
Redemption, and
Yeah.
that kind of,
Red Death Redemption.
yeah.
Yes.
So this company she works for does a lot all that stuff. And
Nice.
so that's what she does now. She's doing it for a living. And so she's following that lead that I said. Make sure whatever you do for a living is something you love
Yeah.
and you really enjoy. And she loves her work. And I'm so excited for her and I'm proud of her for doing it.
Oh wow, that's really awesome. I mean, to be working for a company that puts out those games and stuff, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And and I always ask my guests this when I have them on, as you see Chucky and all that. Like, uh, I'm a big horror fan. Are there any horror films that you like to watch?
Um, I'll tell you one I've seen several times that just scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. There's a movie called Horror of Dracula. It's
Oh, okay, yes.
it stars God, what's his name? Oh man, why can't I remember his name right now? Um, the guy that plays Van Helsing in a lot of the Hammer films. Remember Hammer?
Uh-huh.
Guy that played Van Helsing in the Hammer films. I can't think of his name right now. It'll come to me as soon as we get off, I'm sure. And and the guy that played Dracula in Horror of Dracula, um, oh man, it's killing me. I can't remember his name. He played. There was a movie, a James Bond movie starring Roger Moore called The Man with the Golden Gun. This actor played the man with the golden gun, the villain in that movie, but I can't remember his name right now. Oh, Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing
Oh yeah,
played
I definitely know him. Yes.
Van Helsing in Horror of Dracula. And I want to say the guy that played Dracula, his name was Lee something. Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee, right? Yes.
Christopher Lee gave me nightmares. Dude, I would be like in my bed waking up at night going like this, thinking about Christopher Lee. Oh, that was so bad. And then the other one that scared the crap out of me, which I've only seen part of, I've never been able to watch the whole movie, and that was The Exorcist.
Oh yeah, that's so creepy, that movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could never watch that whole film. Um, there's others I've watched. I'm trying to think. Oh, one that I like to watch that I think is fun, and I get a kick out of watching is Evil Dead with
Yeah.
that one
Yeah,
actor.
with Bruce Campbell. Bruce
Yes,
Campbell from the Evil
yes,
Dead. Yeah,
yes. It cracks me up, man. I love that movie.
I
When he
know, I know.
when he
It's like
splits up and becomes all these
comedy
evil guys.
horror. Yeah,
But what's your favorite horror movie?
actually, Chucky is.
Ah, okay, cool. I wish I had booked that now. That's cool.
I mean that little killer doll is actually funny. Like he makes his little jokes and stuff, and
I just noticed something. I noticed it probably about maybe 5 or 10 minutes into the interview. I noticed
uh-huh.
that it looked like the top of my head was cut off on the Zoom. Was my head in full, the whole Zoom?
No, no, it's fine.
Okay, because I thought that I
Yeah.
didn't have my computer set at the right spot. I go, dude, your head is out. Let me adjust this. But yeah. So that I would say Evil Dead and Horror of Dracula are the ones that I've watched the most.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
would you consider The Boys on Prime to be horror or no?
It's more like action.
Yeah, it's a little bit horrific
Well, yeah, yeah, it does.
sometimes.
It does have like it does have certain times where it's like has like a horror vibe to it. Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah.
Oh, I was going to tell you one other thing about Tales from the Crypt. Um,
Hmm.
after I booked the one with Walter Hill, I got called in again for another episode.
Oh, really?
And this time it wasn't going to be Walter directing, it was going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. It was going to be his first directing job. So I get called and they sent my tape in and everything. And they said, yeah, they want to meet with you. So Richard Donner, I don't know if you're familiar with Richard Donner, that name. Uh, he um,
Oh,
he was the producer and director of Superman and a
oh, okay,
bunch of other stuff. Who
okay.
Framed Roger Rabbit, just a bunch.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I go in and for the callback, and I go in, I meet Richard Donner and Arnold. And I go into the room and Terry, I think who is it? Terry Garr, not Terry Garr, but Terry God, what is her name? She was on that Housewives movie TV series, plus she was also on the series, the Superman series, the TV show. I can't think of her last name right
Oh,
now.
what, the Lois and Clark one?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, her name was first name is Terry. I can't remember her last name.
Yeah, Terry Hatcher. Terry Hatcher.
Yes, she was there reading for the same episode that I was reading for. So
Oh, wow.
she read with them before I went in. She came out. We talked for a few minutes, and I went in, and um, I was in that interview for like about 20 or 25 minutes because we got
Really?
and we they wanted to get to know me, and so we sat there and we talked about all kinds of stuff. And Arnold is really smart. Believe it or not, he's a lot of people just think, okay, muscle, yeah, but he's really a smart dude. And it was funny because after we finished talking, and we even talked about real estate when we were in there before I left. When I left the audition, I came back home and I told my wife, I said, yeah, I just met with Arnold and Richard Donner, and she goes, so what was he like? I said, he's a pretty smart guy, he's a good dude. And I said, I will bet you anything that he'll end up in politics one day.
Oh, no.
Then what, 5, 6 years later, he's governor of California. What the heck?
Oh my God. You actually called that. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, it's been a roller coaster ride. It's been fun. Just doing this has been fun.
Oh my God. I love it. And I guess the last thing I will ask you is basically where can fans follow you at and keep up with your films coming out?
Well, I'm on Instagram at Johnnie Johnson the third. And yeah, that's my full name, Johnnie Johnson the third. And it'll be like a three with the RD after it. So Johnnie Johnson 3 RD. So they can follow
Mm-hmm.
me on there. And they can go on IMDb and follow me on IMDb. And on IMDb, there's a link to a fan page that I have set up. And they can go on there also. And I post things that I'm doing and what's happening on there too.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for being patient with how long it took to get this done. So I appreciate it.
No problem, man. It's been great talking with you. You know, I love your personality, you know. Yeah, you're very calm and you're relaxing to talk to. So yeah,
Oh, thank you.
thanks for
Thank you
having me.
so much. Yeah, this has been so much fun. Like if I come to Comic Con next year, I'm definitely gonna tell you.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.